Okay, in this video, I want to talk to you about what is the structure of business school education, or how is a formal business education program structured? Well, as we talked about in other videos, there are different types of business education programs. There is the more technical education side that you'll receive in certificate or short-run programs. Like IT skills, accounting skills, finance skills, things like that, or in a technical school where you're focusing on one specific aspect or area of business, or in a traditional bachelor's degree type of program where you have a more well-rounded education mixed in with business education as well. So the certificate programs, once again, can vary across the board, whether it's just short run, you get a certificate, or whether it's long-term training, whether it's in residence training for certain things, the way these boot camps and things like that are. So anyway, there's that. Now, in a traditional education environment, right, the college or university setting, your first introduction to business will be as a business degree, that is either a major or a minor in business. Now, the most common or the fastest growing business degree is the BBA. It is a well-rounded mixture of business information from various fields, your marketing, finance, accounting, etc., all mixed together. It's kind of like a pared down a bit MBA program. Actually, in many ways, it tends to mirror the MBA program in the types of courses you take. It just generally doesn't have as many elective courses that you can choose from as you would find in an MBA program. Okay, but you also have bachelor's degree in specific areas, like bachelor's degree in accounting, or bachelor's of marketing, bachelor's of finance, bachelor's of accounting, something like that. That is more of what you would see as a concentration or a minor within a BBA program, for example. Okay, so generally BBAs are general business, but with a concentration, which is in one of those fields I just named, that IT, real estate, healthcare, things like that, right? So within the master's degree programs, there are lots of professional master's programs, right, in business areas like accounting, IT, analytics, finance, marketing, HR, real estate, economics, things like that, right? And economics is not always business, of course, but in fields of business. And those are excellent for specific subject matter knowledge, a lot of theory, but also a heavy dose of practice-based work. Internships, things like that are normally integrated in there, other experiential learning type things to reinforce and really to develop some level of proficiency in what you're doing coming out, where oftentimes that is missing from an undergraduate business program where you focus more heavily on conceptual learning and theories, that type of thing. Okay, now I will make one comment on the MBA. Okay, the MBA is the most commonly recognized, commonly understood master's degree with regard to business, but we have a completely separate video on the MBA and what it means and how you use it and things like that. So I encourage you to watch that video. But in summary, the MBA is a finishing degree. It is to refine certain skills, but more often than not, it's either used to transition within an organization from a professional service provider to manager of professional service providers, or to change career paths completely. Okay, so in that way, that's why it's not advisable to attend an MBA program directly out of undergraduate, because it's a repeat of a lot of what you might have seen in undergraduate, but also you need to be an industry or career professional already with several years of experience for the MBA to offer you the value that you're looking for. And like I say, we talk about that far more in our separate video all about MBA programs. Okay, so but those are the business master's degrees that are common. Now, there are doctoral programs in business, right? There are PhDs primarily in specific business fields, accounting, analytics, finance, marketing, those types of things, right? But there is also a Doctor of Business Administration, all right? Now, the DBA tends to be more well-rounded in its focus. It is less intensive generally in terms of the research elements. Okay, it has more, I would say, of the substantive classes and less of the research-based classes. But once again, it is a widely recognized doctoral program for individuals who may want to be a researching type practitioner in the business field. So the DBA is less focused on academics the way PhD is, of creating college professors or researchers to undertake research projects within any institute or grant receiving organization such as universities type thing. The DBA is focused on preparing, again, researching type business professionals or business leaders who need that analytical ability, the ability to research things in doing their job. And there's an executive version of the DBA that's common as well, that once again it's focused heavily on high-level leaders who need that level of research ability and analytics in their job. Okay, and then there's all sorts of structures applicable to any of these programs. There's full-time, part-time. It can be accelerated, where it crunches the program into the number of hours into a shorter period of time. It can be weekend-based, where you attend over a period of time, or modular, where you come in for a week or two and then you'll do other stuff online. It can be executive in nature, which is very similar to weekend or modular. Okay, and then the format of delivery could be traditional face-to-face. It could be online, or once again, it could be some hybrid form there in the modular format, where you have online portion and you have in-person components. So that's generally what you're going to see in a business school. And generally these programs, when they change format or structure, are ranked differently, so their reputation is perceived differently based on the format and things like that. So all these things are good things to know and consider when you're considering a business program, or you're trying to determine which one is the best fit for you.